And I can go home today, watch our interview on my TV set if I want to, and it would be really big. It's a large TV. So if the goal is to be on TV, you don't need any executive to give you permission.
This is what family keep doing as well. And blessing, my uncle rang me this morning and he says, I've been watching you on my big TV screen. I said, have you, Uncle Dave? And he says, yes. He says, Dusk Till Dawn Studios, and it's my local recording studio where I am now. They've been kind enough to let me use the studio, for the podcast. And, they're amazing. They're like based in Chadderton in the UK. But it's just like when they do all my songs, everyone, our family are watching like every recording. They'll watch it on the big TV screen. So like you say, you can actually do your own media, can't you, to get yourself out there. And this is what I want to kind of come across as confident as you come across. And I want to, have that audience that you have as well, so the more I learn and the more, I need to learn as well. The more courses, I'll definitely go on more courses that you've done as well.
Well, you look and sound confident to me, so that's great. But it just becomes easier the more you do it. People ask me if I get nervous before doing interviews or being interviewed, whether it's CNN or BBC or talking to folks like you. And the answer is no. It's not because I was born with 1,000 times more confidence in anyone. It's just that I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of hours in front of a camera. I've made thousands of videos. It's really hard to be nervous or uncomfortable with anything you've done 1,000 times. The first time anyone ever drives a car to the grocery store, if they're 15, 16 years old, it can be pretty nerve-wracking. But if you've been driving for 15 years and someone tosses you the keys to the car and says, we're short of milk, can you go get it? It's pretty hard to be nervous driving to the store. Why? Because you've done it 1,000 times. It is exactly the same thing.
It's like riding a bike, isn't it? Once you've learned it, it's just practice makes perfect, isn't it? Where you'd never have thought you would have been shy as a child, because you don't come across shy at all to myself. But, like when I've been reading all about you and doing all history on yourself, and I used to be really shy, and you'd never ever have thought you was that shy child. It's definitely not.
I was very shy as a kid. So, you can really take control over your destiny and your personality, I believe, if you actively decide you want to. Elaine, you have a passion for counseling people, helping people during bereavement, other psychological ways of helping people. I would just ask you to think about if you could talk to the 100 most interesting people in the world that have something to do with your passion in life, who would they be? And then why not call them, write them, email them, text them, tweet them, ask them if you could interview them? Worst thing that can happen is they say no, or they're too busy, but some of them will say yes. Some of them will have a new book out. Some of them will just be actively looking for attention. Why not do that? Because if you're again, I don't want to sound like I'm anti-ITV, but if you're an ITV presenter, they may ask you to, interview a football star, and maybe you don't care anything about football. Not really going to be that interesting to you. I know personally, I don't like football, American football, or what we Americans call soccer. The rest of it just doesn't interest me at all. I wouldn't be a very good interviewer, someone like that. And maybe you would, but if you could interview people who are already in the space that you're passionate about, why not focus on that?
I've been doing that actually this morning, and I've actually been via LinkedIn. I just love LinkedIn. I just think it's so good. People don't know how to use the platform. Sometimes people will say it's like Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook myself personally. But with LinkedIn, because it's a professional business platform, I've always loved LinkedIn. Sometimes I've come off the platform in the past just so I can spend more time with my children. And, I've kind of deleted my old profile on there. And sometimes I'm thinking, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just closed it down. And then I've gone back onto it. But I've connected with so many interesting people. And this morning I've had a few messages to and from people as well who I want to, you know, be on my podcast, but I just wanted you to be the first person, just so I want to make sure I'm coming across okay, I'm coming across, you know, professional. And if there's anything you want to, you know, tell me what I need to do better, how to better myself, I prefer you to tell me that, and I'll learn as I go
Well,
along.
one thing, I don't know if it's you, but I'm getting a lot of pixelation, and I can't see you clearly. So my only suggestion there is, when you're doing any kind of interview through Zoom or StreamYard or anything like that, now it's clear. Just make sure you have the absolute highest quality internet you can, preferably not Wi-Fi, but a cable that goes right into your computer for the greatest amount of clarity. That will help. And because it's a little fuzzy, I can't tell if you're giving me good eye contact or if you're looking at me on the screen here. I can't
I'm
tell.
looking at you right on the screen. Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You want to maintain, you want people to feel like you're looking at them. Like right now, I'm
Oh, so
looking at you.
more like looking into
If I look like this the whole time, I'm actually looking at you. But from your perspective, it looks like I am ignoring you, checking email or Facebook or something. So I'm not going to look like this during the interview. I'm going to look at like this because I want you to feel like I'm looking at you. Plus, I want anyone watching this at home or office or any place else to feel like I'm looking at them. So I do want you to focus more on eye contact, the camera. So a little bit different than if you're in a studio.
Yeah.
If you're in a studio and you've got 3 cameras on and there's a guest sitting right next to you, then you do want to look at the guest, and the director will figure out what camera angle is the best, or it may show both of you. But if it's done something with an in-house studio or internet studio, you really want to look at the camera the vast majority.
Better now that I'm straight ahead at the camera.
Yeah. And it's a little unnatural. The more natural thing is to look at the person I'm talking to, but it doesn't look natural. Great. Right. Well, I really appreciate our time together. Is there anything else you wanted to know from me to share with your own friends, fans, followers, and connections on social media?
Just to say thank you for this podcast, really. And the podcast is mainly, it's giving out ideas from both of us as well, isn't it? So it's to kind of get me going to do Lloyd's Worldwide podcasts. And I think everyone's got to start somewhere. And as long as you're confident and focused, you know, you can do anything and you can get your podcast out there. I loved all the AI clones that you show me, and I loved that you can actually do it in all different languages as well. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
and for any of your friends who are interested, again, they can access it without, not only do I not charge them anything to try it out, they don't even have to give an email address. They can just ask my clone questions and text. If they want to talk to my video or audio, then they have to give an email, but there's no charge for the first 8 minutes of conversations and messages. So feel free to try it out. It's tjwalker.ai. Plus, I've got the new book out on how you can build an interactive AI video clone.